What's up? What's happening? What is going on? Cantaloupes. Injuries affect teams every single year, but sometimes there are injuries so massive it sets teams back for decades. I'm Mike Cantalupo, and today we present 10 injuries that changed a franchise forever. And a huge shout out to SRA 082204. No, that just seemed right, for suggesting this video. Darrelle Revis, he tore his ACL in week 3 of the 2012 season. The Jets were supposed to be a playoff team that year, but then they lost their team leader and one of the best players in the NFL at the time. The season fell apart. Mark Sanchez lost his locker room. The Jets were horrible and never contended again under Rex Ryan, and the team has not made the playoffs since. Tony Romo, he was injured in 2008, 2010, and 2013, but things changed in 2016 when he got hurt again. But rookie Dak Prescott took over the offense, and boom, the Cowboys were the top seed in the NFC that year. Romo is now retired and working for CBS, while the Cowboys have a young dual-threat quarterback that never would have happened if Tony Romo didn't get hurt in that preseason game. Culpepper, he became the Vikings starting quarterback in 2000. He led them to an NFC championship game. He formed a dynamic duo with Randy Moss, but then he tore his ACL. And as one of the top dual threat quarterbacks to ever live, that is a problem because you need your knee. The Vikings ultimately decided to trade him away to the Dolphins. That didn't work out well for them. They got one good year out of Brett Favre. They sucked for a really long time after that. If Culpepper stayed healthy, that team probably could have won a championship. Terrell Davis, he was a star running back for the Broncos in the 90s. He formed a dynamic duo with John Elway. I like saying dynamic duo. It makes me feel special, like me and you, Jason, the editor.
Oh, God.
We're a dynamic duo.
Well, I wouldn't say dynamic duo. I'd call it dynamic coworkers.
Anyway, Terrell Davis tore his ACL during the 1999 season. Knee injuries also affected him in the 2000 season. Then Davis retired in the 2001 season. The Broncos running back game struggled. He lost the heart and soul of the team. His injury ruined any chance of a dynasty. Luckily, they were able to win one. Rich Gannon, he spent most of his career as a backup. Then he joined the Raiders in 1999. He became a Pro Bowler there. Then he won the 2002 MVP. He led the Raiders to a Super Bowl 37 appearance. Then he got shoulder and neck injuries. The Raiders became the laughingstock of the NFL after those injuries in like 2003 and 2004. Then they went through a slew of quarterbacks, Marcus Russell, Carson Palmer, whatever. What if Rich Gannon stayed healthy? Right after becoming an MVP, he could have became great. And he could have won a Super Bowl. Joe Montana, he led the 49ers to 4 Super Bowls, but an elbow injury forced him to miss most of 1992. Steve Young then took over. The 49ers opted to trade one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Young kept the dynasty alive for one more Super Bowl title, but maybe they win more with Montana. Maybe they don't get one with Montana. Who knows? It changed the franchise. Michael Irvin, he was a 3-time Super Bowl champion with the Cowboys. He was a core player in that dynasty with Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman, but he suffered a really scary spinal cord injury in 1999. That injury forced Michael Irvin to retire. The Cowboys dynasty was completely crumbled right after that. Aikman retired a year later. The Cowboys have not reached an NFC championship game since that injury. Steve Young, after he replaced Joe Montana in San Fran, Steve Young, like we just said, led them to a Super Bowl 29 championship, but then he got injured himself. He had to retire after suffering a concussion in 1999. The 49ers were awful for most of the 2000s. It took a really long time to find their next franchise quarterback. It was Colin Kaepernick for a little while. That's a touchy subject, but the injury did lead them to very dark years. Peyton Manning, he was drafted first overall by the Colts in 1998. He won 4 MVP awards with them. He made them annual playoff teams. He won Super Bowl 41. He reached Super Bowl 44, but then a neck injury forced him to miss all of 2011. The Colts won just 2 games in that year. They got the first overall pick, so they selected Andrew Luck. Manning won another ring in Denver, while the Colts, they've completely mishandled Andrew Luck. They wouldn't have Andrew Luck if Peyton Manning did get hurt. It was a complete franchise-changing move. Whether it's for the better or not, I don't know. Drew Bledsoe, he was a star quarterback for the Patriots. He led them to a Super Bowl 31 appearance. He signed a $103 million deal in 2001. It was a hit by Jets' Mo Lewis during the 2001 game that sheared a blood vessel in his chest and nearly killed him. Then a young 6th-round pick named Tom Brady took over for him, and the rest is history. What other injuries changed NFL franchises forever? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, hit the like button. Until next time, I'm Mike Cantalupo. Thanks for watching.